Loading. Okay. All right, we are live. What is up, everyone? So, episode 3, man. I mean, I kind of wanted to
Yes.
just jump into it, but of course, I want to say hello. Thank you for being here. Of course, both Alex and Bebe. I appreciate you guys being, here every week, and I do want to continue doing this. So, if you guys are here and will have me, of course, that's the goal. But as for this
Of
show,
course.
we're gonna be as positive as we can, no matter the circumstances of the episode.
The
We're gonna
circumstances.
yeah, no matter the
Yes.
circumstances. Of course, Alex hit me up earlier, and she seemed really, really anxious to talk about this. So I'm really excited to hear what both of you have to say, because I've been talking about this since last week. I try to keep my mouth shut, but like this is this is fun stuff, dude. I mean, yeah, I'm feeling crazy. But what do you guys have to say? Just first impressions of this episode.
Go ahead, baby. Oh, I thought you were gonna go ahead. I had to say it's a lot. I mean, emotions going up and down. I mean, they really pulled it off in this episode.
Mhm.
So that's the only thing I gotta say is just emotions just going crazy.
I'll second that. I was up and down all over the place. I loved it. I hated it. I cried. I
Yep.
laughed. There was a lot.
Bonjour. Nah, yeah, and I feel like that's valid. I mean, this episode had so much action. I want to start off with that. Some of the best action that I feel like we've gotten in The Walking Dead. At the same time, I've been talking about getting variants for the longest time, and we got a little taste of that. And on top of that, just
Mhm.
the pure emotion from losing characters and just the culty vibes. We're kind of back with that. It's just there was a lot. Like this episode was a movie, man.
Did you say culty vibes?
Culty vibes, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
like I
I
mean, like
agree.
the fact that they're trying to get a kid get bitten to prove that he's the next, the up and coming, whatever you want to call it, the next, whatever they call it. That's bad.
Messiah.
Right.
The Messiah. you know.
Mhm.
So there was
I
just
don't
a lot
remember
there.
anybody trying to bite Jesus with a zombie.
I know, but we start off like the episode kind of in the
No.
beginning with this kid getting drugged. So to see him kind of walking around just in that state of mind was really messed up. I felt like that was just one of the things that really made me feel weird. But Miss Kayla, why aren't you here?
Hey,
Well,
Miss
hello.
Kayla.
Kayla,
Yeah, why you not
get on
here,
here and talk
Kayla?
about your boo.
Oh, she probably at work. She probably at work.
That's
Oh
fair.
yeah.
She
Uh,
probably at
uh,
work.
how did we start? I want to remember exactly. How did we start off this episode?
I think big elephant in the room is Miss Sylvie. That's the
Yeah,
only thing I
I didn't
think
want to
that's how
jump
it
the
started
gun.
off. No, because
Do what?
it did it.
Did we start off like that?
Did it start off with Sylvie?
I think so. We started
Oh
off
shoot,
with
I forgot.
her
Okay.
at the window. She was stuck in that room.
Okay. And then she tricked the dude to opening the door, and then
Yeah.
she ran out there, and then
Mhm.
that's how everything kind of went down. Um, with her kind of jumping the gun, going out there, yelling Laurent's name,
Oh
and
shoot, wait. No, this is the episode that started with Jeanette's backstory
oh yeah! Oh my God,
Oh,
what are
that's
we
right.
doing?
That's right. That's
at
right.
the Louvre. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
okay,
right. That's right.
that's fair.
Okay.
So
Ooh,
to start off start off this
thank you,
episode,
Alex.
I thought that
Obviously,
was
you
amazing.
all know where our heads were.
Yeah.
We're
And that was definitely one of the peak moments because it's just like the emotions that come out of us during those
Yeah.
moments are just insane. So that's
yeah.
why it's so memorable. But of course, that doesn't take away from the fact that the
Did they
beginning of
have
the
to make
episode
us feel
was
bad for
pretty
Jeanette?
cool. Yes, and that was one thing I was like, "There's no way we're doing." Like, I was like, "They're kind of bold for this," because I thought they were gonna do a longer flashback than what we got. And I'm like, if they do that, that's kind of
Mhm.
like wild. Because I'm at the point where, like, not only do I not really care for her, I don't care for her as a character. Like, it's one
Yeah.
thing to find to hate a villain, but find them interesting to the point where you can watch the flashbacks and be like, wow, this is pretty interesting. But with her character, I'm not there yet. So I was like, if we do a whole episode based around this is a
Mhm.
bold move.
Right.
But I'm glad it wasn't, extremely long. But
Mhm.
Same.
of course, anytime we get like the beginning of the apocalypse, it's always great to me. Like,
Well,
I'm a
I
huge
think
Star Wars fan. What's up?
What happened, baby?
Mhm.
Oh, were you saying something? My fault.
Hmm. Am I on? Cause am I lagging?
This is
Oh
Tad.
yeah,
I
you
think
are
I am
lagging.
lagging.
Well, I'll go back to what I was saying.
Okay.
Okay. So like I was saying,
Yeah.
it every time we see like the beginning of the apocalypse, it reminds me of like Star Wars. Like anytime we get Order 66, like the
Yeah.
beginning of everything. So it's just to see how everything's gonna go to shit, but it's still so interesting to see how these characters responded to those circumstances, to those, that situation as a whole. So anytime we get that, it's super cool. So to see the position she was in and how it kind of mirrored Carol in a way where they were both kind of looked down on in the beginning of the apocalypse, and they both
Mm-hmm.
rose to be leaders, if you will, as
Mm-hmm.
one might be better than the other, but that's not the point. But it's just really interesting to see kind of how similar they were in a sense. But I do want to kind of bring up the whole Mona Lisa scene later on, but I do want to say that entire beginning sequence is pretty cool because we got that with Isabel, but to see it again from a different perspective was
Yeah. It was really cool. I enjoyed
Mhm.
the fact that they did humanize her. And I mean, I'm not sure if anybody else feels this way, but I started realizing when the Joker came out just how villains typically started out as victims, and that they're humans. They started out as humans too, and they got to where they were because of how people treated them and
Mhm.
how their mental health kind of conflicted and made them turn the way that they did. And seeing that Janae was so docile and
Mm.
almost, so submissive in her role as that janitor. Like, obviously, she needed the job and she wasn't going to put her foot down to her boss, but very quickly you realize just how badly that person probably treats her on a daily basis. Um, and it was really fun to see right away her right hand man.
Yep.
That was amazing. I was like, oh, well, that's where she came from.
Mhm.
Uh,
I didn't even put
she
two
was
and
kind of
two
like that
together at
person
first.
that tried to get Janae to, stand up. I think she probably was the one to give her the guts to finally be like, hey, everybody follow me.
Yeah. And again, we have a moment where she ends up
Mhm.
losing her loved one, and it's like it always makes me upset because it's like we understand if you were in that situation, you're gonna go through a point where you're gonna be in shock, you're gonna be frozen. But to see this dude look at the walker and then look back at her and just sit there, like I understand he was in shock, but that entire sequence, I was like, dude, move, run, do something, don't just stand there. And he's over here just getting eaten alive. It reminded me of God, what was his name? Oh, I don't even want to bring up that memory for you guys, but
Noah,
yeah, yeah,
Noah and Glenn.
yeah, it
Yeah,
reminded me of Noah,
right in the,
behind the
yeah.
glass and all that. The fact that she knows that off the rip, man, it's just one of those things. It was just insane. But again, I do like this comment. This is important. Her backstory wasn't enough to warrant her villainous ways. Everybody has experienced the loss that she has gone through. So again, unless they show some
Mhm.
more of that, I'm still not justifying it.
I
But at
don't
the end
think
of the
it was
day,
necessarily the boss that got her there. I think that what broke her was seeing her husband die.
yeah. Okay.
Because she immediately, I mean, where do we see her now? She's experimenting on people to try to make them a stronger walker. And the
Mhm.
entire time I was questioning myself, why the hell is she doing this when she should be mad at the walkers and just want to kill them all and be the farthest away from them because she watched a life that she could have had just go away within
Mhm.
seconds.
No, no, that's extremely fair. But we have a really, really, really cool transition with it zooming in on the Mona Lisa, and then the Mona Lisa kind of the camera turns, and then we see Carol. So we're back in present
Yeah.
day. And again, this kind of like
Mhm.
the aura that it showed off Janae, it made her so much. I enjoyed her character so much more here. Miss Kayla, thank you. Love y'all, and I'll try to make it next time. We would love to have
You
you for
better.
sure.
Love you, girl.
But
Mhm.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the aura that Janae was having from this one episode was insane. Like to see the power she had over her own people, Like when we saw that dude back talking one of the servers, and then he's like, "Oh, you think I want to eat this? It smells like shit." And then of course she has to remind you, like, food is a privilege here. Like we don't do that. And to have the power to have someone twice your size eat the food off the floor, that's next level. Like what did you guys get from that? Like we knew she was top dog, but that's different. Like that's a
I
different type
mean,
of
I think
power.
she's trying to prove that everyone deserves respect no matter where their job is at.
No, yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just one of those things where I'm just like, wow, like Carol is a big dog, but this is Janae might this might be on equal ground. I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Yeah.
But of course, it led to that,
Mhm.
and then of course Carol over here asking questions, wants to know what's going on, where she might be able to find Daryl, and that was getting me a little nervous when she started asking around. How'd you guys feel? Did you guys think that was going to backfire, or did you think that someone was actually going to give her a solid answer? I mean, it did work out, but still.
You know what? I think that when she first of all was standing there with Janae, um, I don't know where all the other Americans are in France, but she obviously is seeing Carol and she's immediately like correlating her with Dixon. So she is trying to find answers because she's never seen her before. She's obviously very strong.
Mhm.
And then yeah, her questioning people while she was passing out the stew. I didn't ever think it was going to end badly, to be quite honest, but I
Okay.
didn't think that it was going to pan out the way that it did.
Yeah.
I was not expecting Calderon to
Mhm.
be around that corner, and I did get a little vibe of like he was there as bait. Like maybe Janae put him there because she thought that Carol was
Mm.
looking for Dixon. Um, and she had already gotten the answers out of Calderon that she wanted, as we saw with the watch. So,
Yeah. No, that's fair.
yeah. What do you think,
Um,
baby?
Well, I knew that Carol was going to lie, saying that she's looking for Daryl to kill him. I think watching Carol throughout all this Walking Dead is kind of like it's obvious that she is going to lie and say not to look for her friend because then she's going to be a bad guy. They're going to like kill her. So
Mm-hmm.
what else can you say? I was like, if I was Carol, I'm going to say I'm going to kill him. He killed my daughter. If you're going to lie and you don't do something like that, but nah, no reason. She said, I'm going to kill Daryl. And for what's his name? Cauldron? Yeah,
Kadron,
I
yeah,
felt like
something
he
like
was
that.
like yeah, Cadron, yeah. Yeah, that Jeanette used him as bait because Jeanette is not stupid. I mean, she's almost kind of like the female Negan in a way. Like Negan ain't stupid. He will use people as bait to get answers. And, it's kind of like don't underestimate Jeanette. But it's kind of
The
like
thing
I
is,
just
she's a
love to
little worse too. That's
see
the crazy thing.
how I know. I like to see them playing games with each other, Jeanette and Carol. It's just so fun to see. I mean, I'm just like so. I was hyped. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like Carol, be careful. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it led to her almost getting away to the point where her little companion, of course, ended up ratting her out, which I was extremely frustrated with. But he was so desperate. I mean, he found this as his only token to be with his husband again. The only thing I fear is like whether in the next few episodes, like we find out if he actually made it out alive. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I do want to believe Janae was a
Oh,
woman of
yeah.
her
That was
word.
my first thought, too.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm just like that's too good to be true. But I would love for it to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, as they were exploring around, we kind of saw Carol witness them experimenting on the walkers. We
Mm-hmm.
saw them, of course, inject them with something, and then them jump up, and they were sprinting. Like they weren't walking, they were sprinting.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes the whole situation really scary because
They're
it's
like
like,
crackheads on meth. They were just
yes.
ready to go.
It's like one of those things. Like a lot of people have these conversations. Like I think I could survive in the Walking Dead world. I don't think I could survive in World War Z. You know what I'm
No,
saying? Because
nope,
as soon as they
heavens
start
no.
sprinting, it's a wrap. You know, so it's like to see them get up and to be like running, it's just like nope. Like that's a absolute no. So it's one
Yeah.
of those things that it's terrifying to see. And although like it probably shouldn't be as scary as it is, it's pretty interesting because we've been watching these shows for like 13, 14 years. And to see how far the walkers have progressed, it's really interesting story
I was
wise.
shocked to see that they moved the experiments outside, that they weren't in that controlled
Yeah.
room anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I mean, I did think it was super risky too because like the scientist is right up close range and it's like one wrong shot and that's a
Yeah.
wrap for the
And that other
people
room,
who
he was behind glass, so he was
yeah.
safe to a certain extent.
So I don't
But
know if it was just to kind of make it easier for us to see, story
mhm.
wise, but
Mhm.
it definitely was interesting. And yeah, they're
Now,
almost like we're
something
more
else that I
zombies.
thought
Yep.
was really funny, or like kind of contradicting but funny at the same time, was that when they were sitting there having that discussion, Carol and Janae, at their desk, to see her being so truthful about her journey, I feel like Janae had already seen through her lies. That hearing this story, the reason why she laughed was because she said, "Oh, this is just another one of your lies." You know, like you're very good at
Mm.
elaborating. You're very good at coming up with things to
You think she
um,
was impressed?
the yeah, the
Yeah.
secrets, like she said with the Mona Lisa. And I think she saw it in Carol too, because she's also lived a life of secret and she's
Mhm.
got that little shit-eating grin on her face too. Like, I do things that you have no idea I do.
She
So
had a really cool line there too when she's like, "Oh, how do you know if it's the real Mona Lisa?" It's like, "'Cause
I'm the
I'm the
one
one
that
who
took it
ripped
off
it
the
out."
fucking wall.
Yeah, and it's like I do love like, as childish as this may
Yeah.
sound, it feels more real with the cuss words, you know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
added, swearing in the last couple projects. I mean, like, if we're in the apocalypse, bro, I'm talking the way I wanna talk. Like
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
screw mannerism, like, being
There were
polite.
so many
You know?
F-bombs in this episode. I
I
loved
know.
it.
And it's like
I
Daryl, I'm
know.
pretty sure said F off like 3 times, you
And
know?
mother effer.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like it fits certain characters a lot more, and it's like especially in The Walking Dead when we got that, there was a lot of times where I'm just like this would work better, if they added this. And even in Fear the Walking Dead, I'm pretty sure they had certain pieces of dialogue that it just didn't work because they were trying to sound very aggressive, but they didn't have
Yep.
the added, you know, touch to it, if you will. So it just didn't give me that like, this is serious vibe. So the fact that they're going all out here makes it a little more entertaining to me, as weird as that sounds.
Yep.
But no, I am enjoying that. But of course we had that conversation with Carol. First Carol said she's looking for her daughter and her, ex-husband. Then she goes saying she's looking for Daryl, her brother. Now she's saying I'm looking for Daryl so I can kill him. So
Yep.
it's like we're seeing these lies kind of just come together, and it's really interesting to see it all come down. But when are you guys excited? Like,
Mhm.
do you think this is gonna work out in her favor? Like we saw how the episode ended with her. Like what do
I
you
think
think is
she
gonna go down?
fucked up.
Yeah. So how'd you
I
feel
think
about
she
that
gave
ending,
her a
baby?
little extra fire under her ass to get out there and kill Dixon
Yeah.
a little sooner than she really was planning on
Yeah.
it.
I truly trusted her too. I'm not gonna lie. When she was like, "Hey, like if you want to kill him, I will bring you to him," and I didn't
But
even
I think
I
it's
didn't
going
even
to lead to
think
our reunion.
that. God, I hope so. But what do you think, baby?
Yeah. Then y'all talking about it, it's just like I'm reliving it, because did it I don't know. I don't even know what to say on that one. I really
Oh, that's
truly don't
fine.
know what to say on that one.
No worries.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. I don't, cuz just picturing like all the stuff like, it's kind of like I thought that Jeanette seeing Carol as like I can relate to Carol in this way. She gonna be one of my right hand people. And when she did what she did at the end towards Carol, I'm like, I did not see that coming. And
Mhm.
like, well, because what she said, it wars to end all wars by turning these people into,
And we've seen that
World War
before.
Z or 28 days later or what have you. And let's not forget, and if World Beyond, they did show that one woman who was in France, she ran. okay, and almost busted the door.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my god. So these French people, like, oh gosh, they're gonna run. But yeah, I was shocked. I'm like, I thought, Carol's gonna be, hey, I'm gonna like shoot him, shoot Daryl. Then it's kind of like point the gun at Jeanette. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, it's like you're gonna get what you want.
And we covered a lot of the whole Carol thing.
Yeah.
I kind of want to dive into the rest of the stuff. So, Sylvie. So this is where it kind of gets a little,
Sylvie's a prisoner when we see her in the
yeah,
beginning of
it
the
gets a little
episode.
heavy. So of
Yeah.
course, they have to
Mhm.
give her one of her most badass moments in this episode too, where she tricks a guy and then she straight up strangles him. I don't know if she killed him with rosary beads or knocked him
It
out
was
with whatever it was.
Rosary.
Yeah, so she straight up
Yeah, yeah.
knocked his ass out with rosary beads, slammed him into the door. He fell. We were able to get out, but of course,
Her
she,
running around there yelling. I was like,
yeah,
honey, be
I
quiet.
know. I
I
think that
was
what
so
really got me
scared she
off.
was gonna
Yeah.
get caught.
Yeah, and it ended up, God,
She didn't care.
s- seeing her running and then being on top, on the balcony, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just like, God, they're just gonna kidnap her again. They're gonna grab her again. God, that's the worst that's gonna happen. And as soon as they start to corner her,
Mm.
and God, as soon as she fell, I don't know if I've yelled like that in a while, man. I was just so caught off guard
Me
with
too.
how they handled that entire sequence, because like I understand we got Carol back in the picture, but doesn't mean we got to get rid of other characters. We can't
How
just
does
run for everyone.
someone run through a courtyard yelling they're gonna kill him and nobody care?
And that's kind of the
All of
thing.
those
Like,
people in
'Cause they
there were
don't.
bees.
yeah, they're all kind of brainwashed at this point, and a lot of them I'm pretty sure know what's gonna happen. Like a lot of them know what needs to happen, or in their eyes, what needs to happen. So for them to be completely okay with the whole Laurent situation kind of just shows why. I'm sure that they made up some bullshit about Daryl and Isabel and Sylvie about how they're trying to, corrupt the Messiah or some crap like that.
Mm-hmm.
So makes sense
Of
for them not
course.
to act on that. But it just made it all the more depressing because on top of Sylvie not, I don't even think she doesn't even know that Emil kind of betrayed her and betrayed them. So on
That's
top
what
of
I said
not
to
knowing
myself at the
about that,
beginning
yeah,
too.
not knowing about that, and then of course dying the way she did, like, as soon as she lost balance and fell over, I'm like, "This is horrible." And the
Right
fact
before
that
she fell, I remember saying, Sylvie, be careful.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's, what's this?
yeah.
It says, "Her death was kinda pointless. They should have made her throw one of the guys off or something before she was just falling." Well, I feel like that's the thing, like, Sylvie has been really, really such a cool character, but at the end of the day, she wasn't here as a fighter, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not really
Mm-mm.
what
She was here as a
she was,
protector.
and,
She was there for Laurent
yeah.
100%. That was her brother.
Yeah, so the entire situation, like, I just was really thrown off with the amount of time that the camera kind of stayed on her after she fell, and then even after that, like her just laying there in the pool of blood was just sick. It was making me like I'm just like, dude, like I don't want to see this no more. Because Sylvie was a character that I really the potential there. Like I was so looking
Mhm.
forward to seeing more of that, and I'm really upset that they cut it short. Like again, I understand that we have another
Mm.
character adding to the mix. So realistically, when we do try to make that story a little bigger, it's going to be a little difficult if we have a bigger cast. But I don't like that out of all the people, Sylvie ended up having to go. I don't know. I feel
Mhm.
like she's the one who hasn't done as much, and that the potential was just there. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys still upset about that? Like, how do you feel about the whole Sylvie situation?
Go ahead,
I'm
baby.
ticked off. I really am ticked off because, seeing her with the nuns in season 1, how she, took care of the people, to me, she was a fighter. And I felt like with Emil dying, like to see her go through that grief. And then possibly because of what Emil had done, it's kind of like she will blame the nest more so. And then she would become a stronger character. If she's gonna die, say maybe like they have a third season, okay, you can kill her off third season, but like we need to get to know these characters. And that's what I keep saying, like with the last part of The Walking Dead and Fears, like when you introduce new characters and they fit, the crew, then you kill them off. it's just like, what's the point of having them? And I just felt
Yeah.
like it was a waste of care. To me, with Sylvie, she's good. It's like y'all just wasted her, and for what? For what? I
And
hated it. I
especially like
hated it.
it's a 6 episode season, you know, so they I understand they got to get to the point, but realistically again it's hard to handle so many characters in such a small season. But it still stinks the way that they handle that whole situation. It's like even though we've only had like 9 episodes of this show, it just feels like she's been involved a lot longer. So
Yeah. She
it's
did a
just
superb job at what
yeah,
she did.
she
She really
absolutely killed it.
did ingrain in us
Mhm.
how much she cared about him and that that's what she was there to do. And that's ultimately what ended up killing her. And I think that was a beautiful way for her to go. It was shocking and I wasn't ready for it. But obviously, Losang decided to take that to his advantage. And that disgusted me. That disgusted me,
Mhm.
especially since he just roofied Laurent. He couldn't even really feel any emotion seeing his sister like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think that was extremely brutal because as soon as we see Sylvie kind of come out when they're doing the whole ceremony and he's like flaunting it, you know, he's like he will get bit by someone he loved, you know, like it's just like, bro, what are we doing? And
Yeah.
on top of that, to see her come out like in like Jedi freaking robes, I didn't know what they were doing, and then as soon as I realized, wait, they're not showing her face for a reason. This is Sylvie, and of course, as soon as they took off
Gutted.
the you know the hood, I'm just like, bro, like what is going on? And of course, that's kind of when Isabel and Daryl kind of got back into the picture, which again is such a terrible way to find out that your friend, your sister, you know, just died.
I know.
Isabel seeing her, of course, made her freeze up, but of course, Daryl, uh, you know, didn't really think much about it and just,
And she
you
looked
know,
right at Daryl and was like, do it.
yeah, yeah, the whole thing is just so messed
Yeah.
up. But I mean, I am gonna say seeing Daryl with the bone and arrow just gave me Carol vibes. I'm like, yeah, she taught him that. You know, I'm just like, I don't know, just I did like to see him, you know, with it, but at the same time, it was just still a depressing moment, nonetheless.
He was like, game's over, mother effer.
Yeah, and as soon as what's his name, the leader,
Yeah.
you seem to be better with the names.
Losang.
Lo Sang, yeah, as soon as he saw him with the bow, he
Little
started
thing.
having like the people protecting him. He saw like you saw the flags, the banners, whatever coming in. But God, it's such a frustrating moment because Lo Sang is a jackass, dude. Like that didn't need to happen, and it's just upsetting knowing
Oh,
that like that's it.
I had a really, really, really bad taste in my mouth when he was talking to the bitch and said that her faith was weak. I was like, ooh, can we please talk about whose
thank
faith
you.
really is weak? Because you're over
Thank
here
you.
trying to injure and kill a little boy for your own what? To get your rocks off
Exactly.
for, and the fact that he later on is talking to
I
Daryl and
know.
he's mentioned something about if I'm wrong, then there'll be no reason to go on. And then that right there just really pissed me off because it was like, are you kidding me? You're all just gonna mass suicide if this doesn't if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then all of that leading up to this would have been for nothing.
Oof. I mean,
You gotta get,
I
like I
don't know.
said, because I remember saying that in my mini review that Losang reminds me of the Jim Jones and David Koresh, especially with Jim Jones. Like when he said that, Losang said it like, then we're just gonna quit. I was like, so you're gonna drink the flavor aid and everybody
Yeah,
gonna die? I'm
I
like,
thought that
this
too.
I'm like, this is sick. This is
Dick.
really sick. So you got to
Mhm.
be careful who you put your trust in. So
But of course, it led to Daryl, of course, putting zombie Walker Sylvie out of her misery,
Yep.
and us getting Laurent out of the picture. But to see him moving the way he was
mm,
moving, it was sick, dude. Like to see him that young, drugged up, it was messed up. But it did lead to one of the, in my opinion, greatest action sequences in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Um, of
Uncle
course,
Dixon
yeah,
took it on.
Daryl kind
He
of
did the
being a
damn thing.
diversion, going into his own. How did you guys feel about that entire sequence?
It was hot. It was so hot. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Left and freaking right. He was just
I
like,
knew she was gonna
you're
say that.
dead. You're dead. You get a bullet. You get a knife. You get a sword. You get a slash. I'm going to throw this bitch across the room and kill you. Like, oh my gosh.
And
Oh,
they
and
were being so brutal with it too. It was
yeah,
crazy.
so brutal. I mean, that
Oh
one that
yeah.
came around the corner and he basically made him kill himself with his knife up his throat. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I was just like, oh my God, we're
Like
going crazy with this. It was nuts, but I mean, like, this dude legit took out 30
mm-hmm.
people in this one episode alone. Like I
Right.
know there's
And
those
that's the kind of
YouTubers.
shit that pisses me off because Carl had to die in the woods when he could have just killed that walker so easily.
Oh my God, it's been like 7 years and we're not healed.
I can't. I no,
6 years
I'll
we're not
never
healed.
be.
Nah, I get that, man.
It's
I
like they make
remember
them. I mean, of course, it's like it's perfect that it would be Daryl, because
Mhm.
Daryl from the very beginning has always been this impenetrable force. But when they make them
Mm.
so fragile in moments that just benefits them, it makes me mad.
Yeah, because it's like we'll go through moments where, like, and I hate to use this word, but like the plot armor is so heavy. Like
Yeah.
moments where characters should have gotten bit or should have died, haven't died, and then there's situations where characters legit will get a scratch and they'll bleed out from it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like one of those things where it's like you can
Mm-hmm.
tell when when it's not part of the story and when it's like
Hmm.
being forced into the whole situation.
Yep.
And I think that's what really sucks me out of it. But this right here was just it was art, man. To see him
Art.
shredding through these dudes, the dude was
Yeah.
a tank. The dude was a damn tank. And it was just it was cool. I mean, like they ended up cornering him. Like there was like 8 of them. So they realized he couldn't go either way, but that's what kind of slowed him down. But of
I
course
like
to
what
see
he
him,
said at the end too. He had his knives up and he was like, "Fuck."
yeah. Man, it's like he knew what was coming, but again, to see him locked up was just it was so interesting to see how they ended up handling that, throwing him in there, throwing him. I think it was like it looked like a shower, if you will, but
Yeah.
you know, that's
Mm-hmm.
their own little jail cell. I'm so excited to see what comes from that too. But of course, we had the whole moment with Isabel, of course, being sent there as well.
My
Yeah.
heart.
I was trying to
Yeah.
figure that whole situation out.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't sure if she went looking for him or what the case was because she was with Laurent, but they didn't really show that. They just showed, and I thought they were gonna explain that, she went looking for
I
him, but
think it was
that's
kind of open to interpretation unless it comes up later.
okay.
But the way that I
Yeah.
felt was she
I
obviously
think
knew that Falou and Laurent got away.
Yeah,
And then she was like, well, I'm in love with
mm-mm.
Daryl and I'm going to find my boo. So I feel like she might have just gone looking.
Mhm.
dude,
Um,
her saying "I love you." Oh my god, bro. And I'm like, this man
Yeah.
Daryl doesn't know what you're
It's
saying. Like
you know what,
he doesn't know
at the
that word.
oh, yes, he
yeah,
does.
at the end of the
You think
yeah,
he does?
I think he spent
yeah, because
enough
it's
time
like
with her to know what it means.
Okay. What were
yeah,
you saying, baby?
because at the end of the day, it's like no matter who you for, it's like no matter who you for, you cannot help but kind of like feel heartbroken because I thought from them telling their stories, about walking on the beach or what have you, she got the top of the shower drain in her hand, and I'm thinking that she been bit. I'm like, no, and when she said I love you, I'm like, don't do that. I said because if something
Yeah.
happened to Isabel, I'm going to be mad.
She was
But it
crying too
is
much for my
kind
liking.
of cute
I
though.
was like, what
Yeah.
happened? What does she know? What's happening right now?
My first thoughts were like, "Oh my god, did she
Yeah.
get bit or something? Like, why is she like this?" And of course, even after episode 2, like when they kissed, I immediately was like, "Okay, like what are we doing here?" Like they kind of it feel like I don't want to say it was forced, but it felt like one of those things that it wouldn't have been a problem if they did wait. So I
Yeah,
was
my
just like,
mom
I
said
was
that
questioning
social media
everything.
is going off about that kiss. And I just wish that people would be quiet and just enjoy it for what it
Oh, what are
is.
they
Like,
complaining
of
about?
course you have your ships. I
Yeah.
don't know. They also said it felt forced and that
Yeah.
they want Connie to be with him or they want Carol to be with him or whatever it is. I I am
It's
always
just like
happy when
yeah, it's
Daryl's
just like at
alive
this
and
point
Daryl's
now.
happy.
Yeah. What were you saying, babe?
Baby, what'd you
Yeah.
say?
This is like at this point, let the story be the story and let it play out.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
and I think that's one of those things. Like, oh my god, I loved him and Connie together. But at the end of the day, she's not around. So it's like just to see his character being in a situation where
Mhm.
where he has someone is just a big step up from where he's been the last how many years. It's like when he did find someone, uh, that person ended up being of course kind of a dickhead. So it's like we're
Oh
in a
yeah.
position,
Isabel's
yeah,
way better than Leah.
yeah. So
Mm,
we're in a position where it's like she's
yeah.
good for him. She genuinely cares about him. And the only I think thing that would ever get in their way is Laurent. But they both have the equal care for him that would never be an issue. So it's I don't know, man. It's just
Mhm.
that entire sequence with them at the end just got me like thinking a whole bunch of different things. But God,
I don't know if you guys realized it in the finale, but I kind of felt like we had our peace with Connie before he left because of the way that they kind of said goodbye, and the way that they obviously showed that they cared for each other, but kind of that dynamic between them I felt like had changed a little, and I felt more like it was a friendship or like a brother sister kind of situation rather than a romantic thing, because we know that Daryl is infamous for not wanting to lose people, and when he gets too close he loses them. So I feel like the women that have come into his life, they realize that too, and they don't push the subject. They just know they want Daryl Dixon in their life.
Yeah, and I do want to kind of go back up to this or down here, excuse me.
Okay.
That I truly thought when
Yeah,
she grabbed that
okay.
piece of metal, that I had all these different ideas running in my head, and self harm was one of them. I truly got nervous that
Me too.
Mhm.
and I'm just like I wasn't sure again, and that kind of put the thoughts in my head that maybe she did get bit because I don't think she would do that knowing Laurent still needs someone to protect him. But knowing that, maybe she
Mhm.
doesn't have much time left, maybe that was something she was gonna do, I don't know, but it
Me
just
too.
had me thinking all these different things, but
But
yeah,
in
again,
editing, I
yeah.
also felt like when I watched it again and again and again and again to edit my video, I kind of started to get different feelings from it as well. So I was like, I started at self harm, but then I also thought, well, maybe she'll use it as
Mhm.
a weapon if they come back to get her.
Yep,
And then
that's
I
what I yeah.
also thought maybe, maybe she's going to use that to essentially open the handcuff if they like to practice
Mm.
to try to get herself out of the handcuff overnight, but obviously didn't happen.
No, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Um,
And number 2 was right. She
yeah,
been
and it's
using
just
that, what she using that to for a little song and what have you.
Fingers crossed, we'll see.
yeah, so I don't know.
Mhm.
Uh, we had a lot happen in this episode, man. So of course it went from that Laurent being worried for the whole situation. We saw him using a Rubik's cube. I mean, I that thing has to need like WD-40 or something. Like spend like
when
14
when was he using the
when he was in
did I
the
miss
cave.
it?
He was in the cave.
Really?
Yeah,
Did he?
Did I see that?
don't do that
I
to
thought
Was
me.
he
it
just
when he
sat
was
down.
talking to Falou?
Yeah, yeah, when he was talking, and it started off with him playing with it, and then
Oh,
he's like, "Oh, don't worry, like you know, like they'll be here or
I
whatever."
think
And
I was paying too much to the French because I know
okay,
some French. I know enough French to be dangerous. So I was like really paying attention to what they were trying to say. There was a lot of French in this episode.
if any
A
of you
lot.
remember the Rubik's cube, please let me know. That way, I know I'm not tripping.
No, I don't think you are because I think I remember seeing a still photo of him at one point with it, and I was like, "Is that his Rubik's cube?" I think
Good.
you're right.
I got worried for a second, but no, yeah, it's just one of those things. But yeah, what else is there to kind of go over? I mean, again, it led
When
to
Carol was going out there to escape, the
oh
first thought
yeah,
that went through my mind was Janae is watching your ass.
I'm like,
She's
this is
just
too
waiting for
easy.
you because there's going
This
to be
is
a
too easy.
roadblock at that gate.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just like, this is too easy. And when she was going through the tunnel, I'm like, I'm waiting for a door to drop, like dungeon style. I was waiting for something to happen. And then, of course, when she got to the end of the tunnel, you have all these lights flash on her. And I'm just like, uh-oh, what are we
Of
doing?
course.
So, nah, yeah, it was just one of those things. I mean, I don't know. Did you guys, you guys knew it wasn't going to be that easy, right? Like,
I
what
was
did you
hoping it
think?
was.
Oh, I knew.
How do you guys feel about of course, her companion that betrayed her
Oh, I
after it
was
all?
pissed. As soon as they showed his grimy face in that office with Janae, I was like, "You snitch!"
Nah, yeah, that's fair. I
But he
mean,
did make a good point. She
um,
probably would have done it for Daryl too.
yeah, I that's the thing. Like, I understand he was desperate to find, you know, his
Julian.
husband, but yeah, it was just one of those things. I was just pissed off by the whole situation. But at the end of the day, I do get it. Oh, he said
Yeah.
I didn't see a Rubik's cube. Just kidding, just kid. Got me out. Jeez. Um, yeah, but of course, the end of the episode, it's them approaching the nest, which of course is a big step, and it leading to her being like, "Oh, you wanted to, kill Daryl. Well, I'm giving you that opportunity," and then they force her to the side, and it just gives
Hmm.
us that flashback to the beginning of the episode where Carol kind of sees what went down, like, "Oh, thank you for your service." Bang, 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 bang. So it's like that's kind of where we knew it was
Mhm.
headed, but as soon as she kind of put two and two together, and everyone on the other side they have no idea what's going on. And that's what is really sad about the situation. But it makes me try to like understand who are the people that's in that group. If it's just people who aren't listening, if it's just random people that they found, because one of the people that was in the group was the big dude that was giving her a hard time in the beginning of the episode. So I don't know if everyone there was someone that kind of like did something to kind of offend one of the people in charge or one of the people part of the group. But either way, it doesn't justify anything. But I was just trying to
That's a
understand
good
like
theory. I like that.
yeah, I was trying to understand who they grabbed
Mhm.
or what
Um,
qualified those people.
I'm gonna be completely honest that when I was doing my first watch through on my reaction, I did not realize what the actual plan was until I was editing and I heard
Mhm.
Carol say it again, "You're gonna turn them," and I was like, "What?" And for the longest time I didn't understand, but then when it dawned on me, what, they're gonna just kill everybody at the nest and turn everyone into
Yeah.
her experiments, that made me so mad. So mad.
Yeah, and I get that. I
Yeah.
mean, the whole thing is just extremely brutal because you
Can
just
we
like
just
look
get
at
an
her.
inside view of why she wants it to be like this? Like, I
Yeah,
understand she wants them to be warriors to make the world back in order and whatever, but why does she think that these walkers are going to do it?
I don't know, man. But
Ew, I see that grin. You can
what
Ugh.
else? What else is there that we got to cover?
Mm.
What else have we not gone over? Trying to think.
Um, I know I'm lagging, but I want to say this. When
Hmm.
Jeanette was talking about religion,
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, I was like, but what are you doing? I'm like, you cannot just talk about religion, how some religion can be controlled, not saying that in a not in a good way. But if you don't believe in religion being controlled, then why are you doing the same thing? Not under the skies of religion. So different than they are. So I was confused when Jeanette said that to Carol. You believe in religion, blah, they control, they want to like take charge of every move, but you doing the same thing.
Mhm.
So your own religion, whether you want to see it or not. So that's my
hmm
whole thing when she said that with Carol. I'm like, okay, girl, drink tea, be calm, be
Mhm.
quiet.
but yeah. I mean, I'm really anxious to see how everyone responds to, especially the ending. The ending with her, being in that kill line or whatever you want to call it, the lineup, or if you will. I'm just when I was watching it, I was just thinking like, how the hell are we getting out of this? Because realistically, I mean, on top of
Mm.
taking each person down, we saw what they do. They inject them with something. They inject the person once they get taken down with whatever that serum is called. We saw that in the beginning of the episode.
Well, now talking with you, I'm getting a little more angry because now I feel like what I first thought maybe isn't what's going to happen. Oh my, there's so many theories running through my head. So now I feel like they're just going to execution style all those people from what you're saying, and
Well,
they're going
yeah,
to become the zombies, and the zombies are going to kill the nest.
Well, yeah, that
I
was
thought they were going to kill everybody at the nest and make them the experiments.
no, because you remember Carol she ended up realizing what was going on, and she went to Janae and said, "Hey, like, and then I don't know.
I
I'm
hate
just
that it took me this long to realize it. But
yeah.
thank
So
you.
no, that's fine.
They're gonna go to they're gonna go to the nest
I'm a whole new
with
kind of pissed off
probably
right
with the
now.
walkers. Yeah, with the whole walkers being injected to the nest to kill Daryl. Yeah, so that's their plan to, and also for to kill people too on their own, but using the walkers, World War Z 28 days later walkers to do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they
Yeah,
basically chicken s their way. So
because it's
yeah,
like we
that's what
saw
they're
what
gonna
they
do.
did. We saw because Carol, of course, witnessed it in the beginning of the episode, so we saw her like realize what was going on. So she goes to Janae and says, "Hey, like what are we doing?" And she's like, and she says to her, "You wanted to kill him. I'm giving you that opportunity." So it's like, and she was quite literally repeating the line from earlier where they were like, "Thank you for your service. You guys have done great." Yada yada yada. So it's like,
Mhm.
just one of those things where it was just like that's what was gonna happen. So again, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Oh, I'm getting emotional.
Oh.
I'm just because I mean
Oh, no.
I haven't watched as much as you, Busy,
Oh
but like
no.
now I feel like I'm scared. I don't want to lose Carol. I don't want to lose Daryl. I don't want to lose anybody.
I don't know how to respond to this.
Oh, oh no. Don't cry.
uh,
Don't cry. Don't cry. No,
Well, you have to find out in the
don't cry.
nap. Man, it's such a messed up situation. I get it.
it
I
really
do.
is. That's really fucked up. And I'm mad that I didn't realize it till now. This is raw
Oh.
emotion, people.
Yeah.
When did you watch the
Yeah.
episode? Did you watch it last minute like you did last time?
Like 3 a.m.
Oh shit! So this is
Yeah.
dang. Oh man, I don't know how to. Oof. So
I just hope Carol gets out of that shit.
well, hopefully plot armor.
I was like really excited about a
You will.
reunion, and now I'm scared it won't happen.
Yeah, but oh, he said what?
Oh. Oh.
What did I miss? Why is
Oh,
Alex?
Oh, now I'm
hi
getting mad now.
So for starters, we were going over the last scene where they have everyone in the lineup to spray them and then have them become the walkers. How Janae had them all lined up, and Carol ended up stepping up and saying, "Hey, like this isn't what we agreed to." And she was like, "No, I'm giving you the opportunity to kill Daryl, but of course you're gonna end up doing it as a walker." So I guess she didn't truly take in the entire situation or the circumstances, and now it's kind of all hitting her at once. So yeah, I mean, as a new host, I made one of the guests cry, so I'm doing a fantastic job. Glad to be here. Thank you guys for
Boo,
joining
just
us.
kidding.
But no, yeah, so that's basically the gist of it. No worries, busy night, no worries. But what is this? The English teacher was too friendly from the start, of course. That's always a red flag in this universe. If somebody is way too friendly, they are most likely terrible people. Um, but yeah, what's this? Right, I actually like that twist. Didn't see it coming. Although I like this, I thought this episode with the other two have just been okay for me. And that's kind of where I've been. At the end of the day, I'm glad we got these episodes. They haven't been anything crazy, but they've tied me over. I've enjoyed what we got. I mean, it's Walking Dead content, so I'm usually always content. But no, yeah, it's just one of those things that still. But yeah, I mean, even though a lot of us probably know, like if they killed off Carol, that would be a stupid move. It's still one of those things. Seeing them in that circumstance is still going to be, it's heartbreaking. We've seen these characters for years, so getting that connection with them, it's still going to be, one of those things where we're going to be worried for them. So of course, it's just, that's just how it is. But is there anything else we want to, dive into? I'm letting you guys do that because I don't want to jump the gun and say something I'm not supposed to. So, is there anything else that we didn't cover?
I I just wish it was Sunday again. I want to watch the next episode.
And speaking of, I do want to say next live is probably going to be a crazy live. I'm sure episode 4 is going to be amazing, so I can't wait to talk to you guys about that, of course. But on top of that, I am going to New York Comic Con, and they are having a Walking Dead panel, which I really do hope that they show episode 4 early there, because then I'll be able to watch it with, of course, a bunch of other fans. But I do expect to talk about my Walking Dead experience when I am there. On top of that, to talk about the episode with, of course, this crew again, and maybe more people if we do have more people. But
That's exciting.
yeah,
I hope
I
they
mean,
do for your sake.
yeah, I
That'd be
can't
awesome.
wait. But yeah, I mean, of course, we went over the whole Sylvie thing, which R.I.P. to her. I thought she was a great character, so much potential. Really upset that it
Now
happened
I'm
the
in
way
my
it did.
feels. I'm gonna cry over Sylvia again.
Carol, of course, really interested to see
Oh.
what's going on there. Of course, she's gone through so much to get to where she is, and if it did end the way it, looks like it might end, that would be insane. So, she did not travel hundreds of miles, thousands of miles to get gunned down by some bitch. So we're gonna figure it out. Should be awesome.
Oh,
but-
I'm worried about Ash.
Oh
Me
yeah,
too!
I'm worried about Ash.
he's just kind of taking a back seat right now.
My
I'm hoping he's
husband.
all right.
Oh heck.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, at one point we see him being like held prisoner when, like, like if we see him dragged
Oh,
up
you
or
stop
something.
it right now!
I'm just saying, like, we haven't seen him. I don't know what they're
I've been
doing.
so worried about him. Like, is he eating? Did he find water? Anything?
Is he getting like all of his vitamins? Yeah. It's just one of I get it. But yeah, this is at least we're not doing this. Carol's comic death haunts me. I hope they never do it in the show. Me too.
No, I never.
Oh, so you don't know how it happened.
Mm-mm.
She doesn't die.
Mm-mm.
She lives forever. See, look at that. I'm killing everybody.
Really good news.
Full of good news.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think we covered everything. Is there anything you guys want to say before we close it out?
Carol better not fucking die.
Yeah. Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Or Daryl or Isabel.
Jeanette is a bitch. That's all I gotta say.
All right. And where
Jeanette
can we
is a
find you
bitch.
guys?
That's all I gotta
Where can
say.
people find your content?
Tell us how you feel, baby.
Oh, me?
Who's gonna go first? Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, okay. You can subscribe to me, Baby Rose 86. I do mini reviews for this show and from. Okay, I need to do my mini reviews for the for those episodes, and you can follow me, Baby Rose 86 on Instagram.
And Mombi.
Hi, I'm TWD Mombi, and I make reaction videos for everything Walking Dead universe. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram at the same name, TWD Mombi. Come on by. There's lots of emotions all the time, as you can see.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, you can find me, of course, here. I don't know what else to say, but of course, we'll be here next week. That's the thing. We're definitely gonna be here next week. I'm excited to talk to everybody about it. Of course, you guys in the comments, thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and I look forward to doing these lives. More and more and more. So, Miss Kayla, hope to see you next week. And yeah, peace out, everyone.
Bye.